Southington High School. My name is Jhalissa and you can sit with me. In this episode, Amrit and I talk about what it's like being a person of color in Southington and some of the challenges we face. We also talk about her culture, our life growing up, and how she's planning for the future. That's coming up next on You Can Sit With Me. Hello, welcome everyone to the third episode of You Can Sit With Me, hosted by yours truly, Jhalissa Vincent. And with me today, I have the amazing Amrit. Hi, Amrit.
Hey, girl.
Amrit is a senior at Southington High School and one of the smartest people that I know. So, Amrit, tell everyone out there a little bit about yourself.
So as Jhalissa said, I am a senior at SHS and I come from a Punjabi background. Punjab is a state in India, so I guess you can consider me Indian. I've been at SHS from 10th grade up till now. I transferred here in my sophomore year from Magnet School in New Britain. I'm a Board of Ed student representative along with Jhalissa, and I am currently waiting for college decisions, which is very stressful. And I thought applying to colleges would have been way more stressful, but I was so wrong.
It seems like there's a lot of important things going on in your life. And I know another important thing that is very important to you is your culture, right?
Yep.
So what's your culture like?
As I said, I'm Punjabi, and it's just a lot in one, to be honest. Our people are very loud, outspoken. We care about everyone, and we try and put that out there. If you ever are partying with us, don't expect to sleep early. The party ends at 2, but the after party keeps going till the next day. Honestly, I love my culture. It defines who I am, and I don't know who I would be if I wasn't who I am, if I wasn't Punjabi. So yeah.
Yeah. What's your family like?
So my family, they're amazing. They support me, but it's really difficult sometimes to try and balance a Indian Punjabi lifestyle along with American culture. It's like you have to try and balance your life out to fit into society, but society is like completely different from each other. Like there's two societies in one, and you're trying to please the society that you live with often. So like in my case, I go to school with American people, and I'm trying to like fit in with their norms, but my family norms are completely different. So I'm trying to trying to live the best of both worlds, but it's like so difficult sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like sometimes like when I tell my friends like the things that my family does or like the values that they have, they're like kind of like drawn back or confused, right? Like they get so annoyed with me when I tell them I can't stay past 9 o'clock. Like, and I mean,
Yeah.
It's definitely difficult, like balancing that like teenager life, but also like respecting your parents. So I definitely understand like trying to please everyone, but also like respecting your parents and like just trying to be a normal teenager in high school, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's weird because I'm trying to my friends are like, oh, Amrit, come out, let's go and like hang out or something. And I'm like, I cannot, I've already had my fun of the month.
Yep.
I have one day set aside and it's over with.
Speaking of like family, when you were growing up, right? Firstborn, what was your first language?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't remember. I've had this question asked to me so many times with like standardized testing and all of that. And I truly don't know because I was learning English from TV shows when I was younger and also throughout school because I've been in the school system ever since. But also I was learning Punjabi at home with my parents. My grandparents lived with us at the time, so did my aunt. So I was very used to speaking in my own language in Punjabi and also learning English at the same time. And it's like, I actually personally love the fact that I know a bunch of different languages, especially from a young age, because I can speak to my family in India or in other places around the world. And like people are gonna like especially like in our community, it's good to know what people are saying because you never know what they're going to say. And
Yeah.
you can find it very useful whenever you are out and about.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think I know my first language because I would say that it's always English, right? But growing up, my grandma was always living with us, right? And she speaks very broken English, right? She only knows a few words and she can kind of hold like a conversation, right? But from like the bright age of, I don't know, one, when you start talking, um, I was speaking Haitian Creole, which is her language, with her, and I would be speaking like English to my parents. So I don't even know what my first language is because I grew up with both of them. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that I did grow up with both of them because if I tried learning it today, like right now, I don't think,
Terrible.
yeah, it would be so hard. And I mean, I didn't grow up like watching French TV shows, right? I obviously watched like Dora the Explorer or like The Wiggles, right? And it's funny because I hear my grandma like I don't know, like just sitting down on the couch, whatever, right? And she's singing like the Wiggles songs, or she's just she's like singing those songs from my childhood. I'm like, that's kind of funny how she's kind of picking those things up. But I never grew up learning just English. It was always English and Creole. It was English and Spanish. I even learned like Mandarin for like a hot second. I know like maybe 3 words, but
No, yeah, I
I
get that.
honestly, so it made my life much easier, like talking to my family, not just my family that lives with me, but like outside my family too. I went to Haiti for about a week in 6th grade, and it was so much easier talking to people because I knew the language. So I am so happy I had that privilege of knowing my, I guess,
Your background, yeah.
my background. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Because I like with my family, I think my parents brought me to India like when I was like just a wee little baby. I couldn't speak yet, but we try and go back every couple years. So I think I remember going when I was like very young, like maybe 12, and I could speak to everyone, and I was like so glad because like if you're not able to talk to someone, then you're missing a lot, like a lot of knowledge, and also just a lot from like knowing someone's past and their background. So it was important to me.
What is it like being a child of an immigrant?
Tough question. So I am the eldest in my family, of my immigrant family.
Same.
And I'm also right. It's honestly a trip. It's a whole trip. I'm currently, as I said, I'm currently applying to colleges, and my parents didn't know a lot about the process of applying to colleges. Yet somehow I'm still not considered first gen for colleges. It's insane because my dad got degrees in the United States. So I guess that says that I have some kind of knowledge about applying to colleges, but it's completely different from the process that he went through. Some of the stuff that they should know, I have to teach myself and then teach them. But then again, their parents, they're loving, they're supportive, and they're trying to teach me as much as I can about adulting, as much as I can teach them about the college process and how to like just be aware of like your kids are growing up. And because I have a younger brother, he's a freshman, and I'm going through the obstacles first in life so that we can help him, so that his transition into like adulting is so much smoother.
Yeah, I completely understand. I mean, I have 2 younger brothers, right? And I guess the eldest of the 2 is in 6th grade. And I'm like telling him constantly, maybe you should be paying more attention in math, or, maybe you should be like doing your best in, I don't know, like English, because it basically sets up your whole high school career. And I try my hardest to like, I don't know, help them as much as I can, like doing all of these things like student rep, right? And I try to be nice to all of my teachers as much as possible, just so when they go into their classroom, they're like, "Oh, you're Jalissa's brother. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
loved her. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be great in my class." You know, just so I can help them just a little bit. You know, they won't have that barrier that I did. And I know my parents, they didn't have that. I guess traditional high school experience either, right? My dad, he didn't go to high school. He actually just got his degree from college, right? And it's honestly, my brother can't really ask him for help, you know, for like homework or anything like that, or like applying for classes or, you know, things that I've been through. And I kind of feel like I kind of joke around. I'm like, "Ugh, I'm a mother, you know, like it kind of feels that way because I'm the one who knows the most about how everything's done nowadays, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I mean,
Good thing.
I love to help them, right? But it's kind of weird, you know. I try my best to help teach my parents what's everything like too, but it's difficult.
Yeah, you're like paving the way for your siblings and for everyone else. Like for me, thankfully, my brother is super mature. Some may even say that he's more mature than me in academics, but Ricky would say so for sure. But I've never had the concern with him, but I'm still always there, like helping him pick his classes. But then again, I have cousins I have a cousin in eighth grade who's about to start high school next year. I'm helping her pick her classes, trying to get them all set up for the real world. And it is difficult trying to pave the way for the youngsters and also your parents. I get it.
How does your family and your culture affect you personally, at school, and I guess socially?
Okay, this is also a tough one. Um, Honestly, there's positives and negatives on this topic because personally, my parents have taught me everything I know. Um, and obviously, my parents are my safe space. I can trust them with everything. There are some things that, as kids, we don't understand about the world, and we go to our parents to learn about, and so that they can tell us like what's actually out there. But at the same time, my culture will also affect that because there are things in my culture which my parents believe that are in my culture that you're not supposed to talk about with kids yet. And it's like a topic for when you're older. Whereas in American culture, that's something that you can talk about whenever the parent thinks that the age is right. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's different because then I see like my friends talking about things that I may not know about yet or anything like that. And it's like you see like the boundaries of like or the barriers that your culture holds because there's like as I said, like my American friends will show a completely different side of the world to me, whereas my culture limits me to what my family and my relatives or anyone in my culture believes is the good to show, you know.
Hmm. Now, we're both women of color. I identify as a Black female, and we both obviously go to Southington High School. And I've had my shares of microaggressions, but for you, what's it like being a person of color in Southington?
Personally, I don't know if I can say too much on this topic. Most people, when they see me, they don't exactly um, they don't stereotype, oh, she's Indian, oh, she's sick or whatever. Like, she's different. Like, they don't automatically realize that I'm different. Um, Usually my brother has more issues because in our religion, the men in our religion have to wear a patka, which is a piece of clothing, and they put their hair in a bun. And like you can automatically tell that this person is different from a different race, different culture, etc. So like obviously when there's times like if we go out or something or like after, so we do church on Sunday mornings, and usually right after church we'll go shopping or to get groceries or something like that, and we'll be in our traditional wear. People always look at us a little bit funny at first. I can't remember much about when I was younger, because obviously that was years ago, but at the same time, I remember I used to go to Thalberg for elementary school, and we used to do a talent show. I think you could participate if you were like third, fourth, or fifth graders. And I used to do a talent show, and I do this folk dance called Bhangra. And since when I was young, I always try to get my culture out there to raise awareness, because there aren't too many Punjabis in Southington, but there's a good enough amount. Whereas I like, as we're human, we should all be equal. We shouldn't feel any different from anyone else just because we come from a different background or look a little different. So I always try to put the awareness out there. I don't know. It's difficult and it's different for everyone, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I went to a magnet school in Waterbury when pre-K through fifth grade, and it was so diverse. You know, it wasn't predominantly white or predominantly black. It was, I promise you, there was like, if you can think of a culture, there was somebody there. You know,
Yeah.
And I honestly, I just grew up knowing a lot of cultures. We had like a bunch of I guess visitors, right, from like different cultures to teach us about their cultures. Like I remember we learned about African drumming, and we all like got to play these like djembes, and it was like such an eye-opening experience, and I always looked forward to it like every single year. And right when I hit sixth grade, I went to Kennedy, right? But it kind of hit me like a truck, you know, like I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me. You know, maybe there was 2 classes with another Black person or another person of color, right? And I have a lot of white friends, right? I have and I love them all individually, right? But it was kind of shocking to me, honestly. A lot of people like came up to me and like, "Oh, can I touch your hair?" Or
Oh my
like,
God, I hate that.
How does your hair do that? Like, and I never had that question asked like before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that I guess that's not really normal. But,
Yeah. No,
it was really weird. And like I grew older, I kind of like understood like, hey, like how to talk to people, like saying like, oh, no, thank you, I'm not really comfortable with that, or you know, just like approaching the situation in a better way, right? So I don't come too aggressive. But it was just so, I don't know, it was just so weird, like that transition.
Oh yeah, I completely agree, because although I did grow up in Southington, I lived here my whole life, like I said.
Yeah.
But I went to middle school and freshman year at a magnet school, so it was way more diverse. And at the time, I felt way more comfortable. And then when I came to Southington, I was like, I don't know how to talk to people, because it's, you know how like everyone's a little different, right? And when you're with a certain crowd, you try and talk to people a certain way. And I was like very confused. I was like, this isn't what I'm comfortable with. This is not what I'm used to. But obviously you make the best of what you're given. So it was shocking. I definitely understand with the hair part. I had a lot of Black friends at my old school, had a lot of white friends. And I was way more open to different cultures at a young age, which I'm so appreciative of, because I know that life and like when we grow up, the adult life is going to be so different than what we're used to in high school. And being like starting to talk to different cultures or different people with different backgrounds at a young age is going to set me up for like success in life, and I'm just so glad for that.
Amrit, being a senior and applying for colleges, how have your experiences from your family, your religion, school, and I guess Southington as a whole impacted your choices for the future?
Okay, well, since we're starting to talk about college, in our culture, it used to be that if you're a girl, you'd be a doctor, and if you're a boy, you'd be an engineer. That's just how it was. I hated it, but I think my parents at the time had the same ideology as everyone else in our culture did, and they put me into a medical school for middle school. But after a while, I got sent back to Southington High, of course. Um, and I obviously, when I was at the medical school when I was young, I'd be like, yeah, doctor, cool. Like I'd be able to save lives, amazing. Um, but I just like it just didn't sit right with me. Like I get like good grades in like science classes and anatomy and all that stuff, but I just didn't like the idea. Like I just didn't think like I could like be a doctor. And like trust me, I love what doctors do. Like they're amazing, putting their like lives on the line. But I just couldn't see myself doing it. Um, and then everyone was like, "Oh, Amrit, you argue a lot. Like you're good at arguing. You should be a lawyer." And so I started to look into law because they're like, "Oh, you could talk for hours." And I was like, "Yeah, I could talk for hours, but I don't think I could be serious when talking to someone if it's like a serious debate." Like today at work, there was this one customer who was like pissing me off, like so to say, you know? Like he was like arguing about something that wasn't right. And I was like, I can't change what the computer is telling me, you know? Like he was like, oh, like I want the coffee, it's $1.39. I was like, the computer says it's $2.39. And he was just arguing back and forth, and he was like, this is some BS, I'm going to McDonald's. And I was like, have fun, sir, have fun. But I like, you know, like, and then so now I'm looking at business because it looks at the social aspect. From the young age, since my parents pushed me into medical, since that's how the culture was, I kind of like went away from it because like I didn't like to be pushed into things that I didn't want to do. Like, you know how we all have that thing. If someone tells us to do something, we just don't want to do it. Even if I was going to go do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was kind of like that.
I'm so thankful that I have parents who kind of let me choose that I kind of wanted to do, right? I mean, from a very young age, I was like, I want to be an actress. I want to be on Broadway. I want to be a dancer, and that's it. That's final, right? But then when I kind of like got a little older, I'm like, I don't have the best singing voice. And I mean, I kind of took maybe a few dance classes, but I shouldn't base my whole career on this one wish, you know, this one want. And, so I kind of decided that like maybe I should look into psychology, right? And my parents were obviously very supportive of my decision, right? I really like that field, right? And they never were like, oh, you're 100% going to be a doctor or you're 100% going to be a lawyer, right? I never had that. And I'm so thankful because I got to look at so many different careers before I chose psychology, right? And I guess their one concern was make sure that like if the apocalypse ever happened, right, you would still have a job. You know, like if everything was wiped out in this entire world, make sure you still have a job. And that's what I kind of that's what I kind of based my choices on, you know?
I mean, psychology would be great for when an apocalypse hits. Like everyone's like, I need someone to talk to.
It's something that I enjoy talking about. It's something I enjoy learning about. And I don't know, I'm just like, I'm very excited to go to college to learn about it, right? I'm not dreading going to college. Oh, I don't want to go to med school or something. You know, I'm not forced into anything. I mean, my mom could have definitely forced me into dentistry. She could have definitely told me, oh, you're going to be a dentist and you're going to like it. And I mean, I've told her a million times, teeth freak me out. Like the mouth, absolutely disgusting. But I'm so thankful that I had parents who let me decide for myself what I would like to do. Because a lot of people, that's what their culture's like. That's what it is. Like you said, female, you're a doctor. Male, you're an engineer. You know. But I think it's more so that like I don't know what it is about. Like for me at least, immigrant parents want their children to be very successful. I mean, all parents want that for their kids, right? But it's just something about where they grew up and how they grew up, right? They want the absolute best for their kids, right?
They don't want to see their kids struggle, like from what they've had to struggle through. I definitely see it. And regardless of like whatever decisions they've made, At least for me personally, they've helped me to like become who I am and see like what life is about and how I should approach each obstacle in life. Who knows? Like maybe, and obviously everyone wants to change. It might want to change their career path down the line in the future, but that's something that you can only like look at the moment, and you just have to like go with life, however, whichever wave it gives at you. You know.
Do you know what the SHS vision of a graduate is?
I remember hearing about it like once or twice throughout my career as a high schooler.
Yeah, I don't think too many people like really know what it is, right? But the SHS vision of a graduate is, and I quote straight from the handbook, a graduate of the Southington Public Schools will be college ready or career ready and prepared for life beyond by mastering the knowledge and demonstrating the skills to communicate effectively, think creatively and critically, and contribute to the global community. So, do you think you are the vision of the SHS graduate?
I would say I am the vision of the SHS graduate. But yeah, I think I check off all of those boxes that the vision holds for us. I'm obviously in a lot of clubs. I have a lot of officer or leader positions. I know how to talk to people. I have a job. I'm contributing to the world. And I'm not going to give all the credit to SHS or to any school in particular, because the people that I would give most of my credit is to the people who surround me, my parents, my friends, because like obviously like they've helped me become who I am. And Definitely. Of course, like in school, you have to like learn how to talk to teachers, how to like do stuff. But I don't know. I just personally feel like I've learned how to become the best me and live better with the people around me, you know?
Mm-hmm. On this podcast, I like to ask this final question to all the guests I talk to. What is one thing that you wish people knew about you?
Okay, tough one. Again, I guess the main thing would be that I wish people knew me for me rather than like seeing the stereotypical, like if you know like when people find out, oh, she's Indian, she's got to be smart. Like she probably takes a lot of AP classes, like she's A's in math, science, whatever. I want to push past the stereotypes, and I'm a very open person. And I just feel like sometimes people don't know that, because at a school this big, there's a very good chance that you don't know everyone in it. You don't know who you're going to be graduating with. And I think that when you first like enter into SHS, freshman, whatever year it is, you already have a group. Like you just click into a group, you have your friends, and we have this stereotype where like a person from one group can't interact with a person from the other group. It's like weird or whatever the society or students deem it as. But that's just, I hate it. Like people don't know me for who I am, and that bothers me, because all it would take is a simple, hey, hi, what's up? I'm Amrit. Like, who are you? Like, what's happening in your life that defines who you are, right? But we just like don't do it as students, and that's the one thing that bothers me.
Thank you so much, Amrit, for having this important discussion with me, and I wish you all the luck in the world on your college applications. Fingers crossed.
Thank you for having me.
Southington High School, So You Can Sit With Me is produced by students and faculty of Southington High School. A special thank you goes to Southington Public Schools Coalition for Social Justice. I'm Jhalissa, and thank you for listening. And remember, there's always a seat open for you.